Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Holy Crap, the Vlogcast. A vlogcast that comes from a skeptical point of view to answer some of the questions of why. Like, for instance, why is there bleeping? Cut that out. It's vlogcast as a combination of spite and the Streisand effect. Don't tempt me. I can still do that. I still have control over that. Because some people on Facebook just don't want to take a hint that they should really do a little bit more study. That's going to be important in a little bit. Part of this is to follow through with the old adage that sometimes the journey is more important than the destination, which does not necessarily include electrons, as we'll find out momentarily. I'm your main host. I'm known as Shujin Tribble all over the place. If you want to try to find me, you can't spell it because it's not on the screen. Thank you, Google. Changed things around and took away all of our ability to use the Hangout system for putting the title in our names. So is Shujin, if you have trouble with the word Tribble, tough.
Watch Star Trek.
See what I did there? Let me go ahead and introduce you to everybody that's finally here, because we're running just a wee bit, just a little bit behind schedule with good reason. Top left-hand corner of the continent. Good evening, Dalan.
Good evening.
Off to the right, just north of me into Ontario. Good morning, Heretic Woman.
Good morning.
Down and to the left, Midwest of the U.S. Good evening, Brigid.
Good evening.
South of me, let's see if the electrons are being nice. Joey, do we have hide in her hair of you now? I'm going to take that as a no.
I thought I heard something, but
I think he knows we're talking about him.
Yes.
clearly something is fucked up. It says I can talk in here for the first few seconds and then it goes dead.
Oh.
Okay. I don't think he's got one. We'll come back to that in a second. Dalan, if you could let him know to, usual OS level stuff, and yay. UnrenownedTech, good morning.
Snow! We have snow!
There's a reason for that. And just join us, and good morning, and welcome to 2017. Joseph, how are you?
I'm okay. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
How are the
Yes,
hounds?
we can.
Okay, from my new, it's my headphones may be slightly broken. I'm not sure yet.
Oh dear.
I was asking about your hands. It sounded like you had a bit of a workplace injury there for a while.
Whoosh.
Okay.
But I think he had some blisters going on or something.
Yeah.
My hands. Oh yeah. Oh, the Facebook says. Yeah. Yeah, that
Well,
happens.
sorry. Am I not articulate enough for this?
No,
I am
you
not
say it.
awake enough.
Yes. Lack of caffeine. That does it every time. I feel your pain, brother.
I've been okay. Just working away.
All right, fair enough. So real quick, first off, of course, welcome to 2017. And 2016, there are words that we would like to use, but we try to keep ourselves to a PG show to a certain degree, and we've already used one F-bomb. So thanks.
You know what?
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Maybe I can sum it up.
Uh-huh.
2016, I really hope the door did hit you in the ass on the way out this time.
That's the
Yeah.
truth. Don't you wish it had, don't you wish it had like two handles just to make sure that it's stuck just right?
Well, I was hoping for like one of those gothic batwing designs, with lots of points.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
and-
Orbs
Pointy
and
gargoyles.
stuff.
Yep. By the
So-
way, my phone bleeped just so you know to tell me that Holy Crap had gone live.
Well, perfect, as it should be. So if you are watching live with us also, by the way, please take advantage of the interaction page. We've got that open on the side. I've got that up on my screen over there. You don't need to know about that. Other than that, I'm watching. Yes, Big Brother is watching.
Heretic Woman's phones will now be known as Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
Well, see,
Fries are done.
that's one of the things that end up talking about.
It actually beeps to tell me my own show's gone live too, just for fun.
There you go. Let me see just a second here. Joey, yes, no?
No.
No, Mike.
Happy New Year.
No, hold on a second. Joey, are you getting audio blips on your screen that says that you're coming through? Okay, then let me see. Okay, for those of you that are watching elsewhere, I'm going to try some magic and see if I'm lucky enough to open up. Joey, try one more time. No, I got nothing coming through.
Somebody sent him a crash course in mime.
If only. All right, let me explain to everybody what's going on. And for those of you that are listening on the podcast version, sorry.
You know, he'd be excellent at the trapped in the box right now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not do that. Joey, the only thing I can suggest, if you haven't already, thanks. If you haven't already, just do a full stop restart. Every once in a while, Hangouts has done that to me, where me as the host, I've had to drop out and completely restart everything from cold restart. So might want to give that a shot. I know cold is the operative word for you sometimes, but blowing into a USB connection doesn't work the same way as it did on the NES.
And those of you out there who had an NES, you all had to blow it eventually.
Yeah. Let's see, Joey, anything? No, nothing's coming through. All right, if you've got audio blips showing on your screen, then it's Hangouts that's just not transmitting it into us. So it's not your fault.
Just for you.
Do you have Hangouts on your phone? Never mind.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Say if he has an Android phone or an piece of iCrap.
Tech, he has a Nokia.
That's not funny. Don't tell jokes when I'm drinking.
it's not
I'm
a
not
joke.
joking. I'm as serious as the blood clots I had this time last year, okay?
It's true.
God.
Tech just about chokes on his drink.
You're
One
welcome.
more time, Joe.
Hot chocolate through the nose does not feel good.
No. Joe, one more time. Say
Okay,
something.
Oh.
Yes.
Yay!
Oh, wait a minute. Try it
Say
again.
more.
I give it maybe 5 minutes tops.
We'll take it.
Oh, we can hear you.
Yes.
Always the optimist.
I'll take it. You know, even
Optimism
though
was never considered one of my strong suits.
And-
Only we could get that
You're
that
better prepared
line
that
that
way.
Shujin has. The Holy Crap the Vlogcast hotline or
Yes.
voicemail system. If only we could find a way to pipe that live through here on days any one of us that have the same kind of problems that Joey has. And let's admit it, some of us have had microphone and whatnot problems before. Thank you, Google.
Yeah, I know.
That would
I
be a
need
good
to-
alternative.
I really need to investigate a little bit heavier into that, which is also something that's going to end up coming up into a topic for tonight. Just really quick, the overall roundup right now, where I am, minus 10 Celsius. For those of you that don't do Celsius, negative Celsius is burr. Okay, just go with that.
I got
Um,
-12.
You do, as a matter of fact.
I do.
Dalan, according to this, Calgary is minus 17.
Yes.
Yep.
17,
Harris?
he wins. Ding, 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 ding.
Well,
And actually, we're on our way to the big 4-0 later this week, apparently.
yeah, well, wait for that.
Ooh.
We're at -7 Celsius.
Yeah, Joseph, I've got you at +5. Ooh, you're warm out there.
Yeah, 100-degree humidity.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
Drizzle.
yep. This gets to be fun because, as usual, I have Yellowknife listed right now at a heat wave of -31. For
Wow.
Yellowknife, that actually is a heat wave this time of year. It should more -40 and lower.
Don't worry. The Starks have spoken.
Yes. And for those of you that are down under, yeah, Brisbane, 27. And yes, I pronounced it correctly. And Alice Springs, 36.
I would not mind that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like the equivalent of Arizona. So
I'm
maybe
okay
not.
with that.
Yeah, this
I've done +40 in the mountains of Mexico, and I loved it.
Oklahoma, days after the worst heat wave they had a couple of years back. I have to scale this to Fahrenheit because this is what I remember. I had days there was about 120.
Hmm.
Geez, I wonder
But-
what.
Dry heat with a wind, so it wasn't
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's Mexico was dry heat with a wind too. So 40 was like, meh, that's fine.
The
Yeah.
worst part about Oklahoma City was when it got cold. Because even with a heavier jacket, I don't know what it was, but the cold there sliced through every kind of fabric you could wear.
Yeah, and this isn't going to make sense to very many other people, but Joey and I are both going to have a really good laugh at this. So, Dalan, what do you think the wind chill was like for Brian Blessed up there without his oxygen mask?
I believe somewhere around the point of barking ass cold.
Yes, it is.
But you know, his reaction, of course, cold? Cold never bothered me.
It's because he was so fat. It still is.
And he has a
we'll explain.
ginormous beard.
This is true. I'll explain.
How did he get an oxygen mask around the giant beard anyway?
Didn't. That's the
You
thing.
wear a helmet, is what you do.
You
Yeah.
wear a snorkel.
Oh, God.
Well played. Well played, sir. So, for those of you that are expecting us to get right to it, you know what? Welcome to 2017. It's the first show. We really don't care very much. But
First show of the year. If you were looking for something structured, what the hell were you? Actually, no. Actually, if you're looking for anything structured on this show,
the hell
who
is wrong
told
with
you? Who honestly told you?
Exactly. Believe it or not, that is one of the things that I want to see about having for this upcoming year. But let me get I do have one piece of structure that we need to take advantage of. So let me go ahead and do that, get everything started. Your 5-minute freestyle is actually scripted for a change. This is not going to be the typical. But your 5 minutes starts right now. I got into it with somebody this week again on Facebook. I got 2 of them that happened, but only one of them is making the grade right now.
Kinky.
I had to deal with somebody who wanted to say that, you know, the whole anti-LGBT allowance for discrimination is a good thing and should be allowed, and they should be allowed to discriminate equally and evenly to anyone and everyone. If they don't like somebody because it goes against their Christian heritage, well, that's just their own damn fault. And I tried to narrow this guy down. I really, really, really tried. I explained why you shouldn't do this here in the United States and what a protected class was. They wanted to try to use the old thing of, well, they're extra special then? Is that what you're saying? No, they're the ones who are most at risk. So we give a little bit more scrutiny if somebody might be trying to screw them over. So after going round and round and round a couple of times, I finally was able to narrow this guy down onto what it was that this guy was trying to get across to me, that his theology was the reason for it all. And it finally came down to, I tried really, really, really hard on this one. I tried to go ahead and go around with a couple of things. Like, for instance, we got to, well, God didn't command Christians to kill people. And that's when it was, okay, motherfucker, you want to go ahead and do that one? Fine. And I literally quoted chapter and verse time and time and time again in the Old Testament. And he went ahead and said, and this is where the scripted part now comes in. The response was, quote, "Those instructions were given to the Jews for a very specific purpose. Today's Christian is under the dispensation of grace, and personally, as a Gentile, OT, Old Testament, law has historical significance and little more." Unquote.
Oh boy.
Your scripted response is this. Quote. Wait a minute. You implied, suggested, hinted that Christians would not be ordered to kill unbelievers. There are multiple places where this is the case. I literally just quoted you chapter and verse. Your answer to that is, quote, well, that was a different time. God changed the rules? Seriously? Yes, Chinya, that one's for you. That means that the fall of humanity and Adam and Eve doesn't apply anymore. The reason for Jesus' supposed sacrifice, the forgiveness of sin, is a moot point. That also means the rules of homosexuality are out. The 10 Commandments are out. Working on the Sabbath, adultery, worshiping other gods, eating pork and shellfish, mixed fiber clothing, planting crops, side-by-side bestiality, rape compensation. That means the city of Ai, where everyone and everything was killed and burned, never to be rebuilt again, was for nothing? The Jews, the people of whom Jesus was supposedly born from, were supposedly enslaved, spent 40 years in the desert, by the way, instead of a month tops, were swallowed by the earth for not believing Moses? That was all just a dress rehearsal? You're cherry-picking the Bible, condemning people for who they are based on the Old Testament's rulebook, which tells you clearly to kill them, but now say the Old Testament doesn't say kill, and the old laws are just window dressing and decoration. If your God can change the rules from kill the non-believers to nah, it's okay, brah, chill with God 2.0, what makes the law worth following? It can be changed back again on a whim, since it was changed before on a whim. The same 2.0 has a part of it. 1 Timothy 2:12, quote, I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. She must be quiet, unquote. Are you going to tell me that you've never had a female supervisor in your work career? Did you complain? Are women not to be trusted with any authority in business or in marriage, government, military? Your position in all of this is, quote, in my business, I can discriminate against whoever I want because God. Secular society says, nope, that's being a dick, cut it out, or GTFO. No death sentence required. If this is your moral position and justification, your position is no better than the radical Islamists. They also hold that they have the authority to kill on word of God and holy book. The Christians had the Crusades and the Inquisition and the Salem witch trials, all claim to be on authority of God against witches and heretics and non-believers. They believe in their holy book as much or more than others with their holy books. Who has the more accurate book? Does anyone? How do we tell? What argument can someone make that someone else can't counter by saying, me and us too? You want to discriminate against people? Fine. But at least be honest about it. You want to do it because you don't like them and you want to use your faith as reason enough to do that with. I'm sorry. We're done here. It's episode 146 on the docket, Your Honor. Passing the torch. Because, oh my God, 2016 just fucking burned everything to the ground behind it, didn't it? Or at least it felt that way. Too many people, too much stuff. And of course, you know, all the stats basically say that 2016 really wasn't any much worse than any other year, just that we're much more aware of it because more people, more visibility.
And I think, okay, let's call the buffalo in the room what it is. We're talking about the celebrity deaths, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think also because they were from, you know, our pop culture, the 70s, 80s, 90s. You know, what a lot of us grew up with, a lot of these people we grew up with. I mean, who here didn't have a crush on Princess Leia back in the day?
Me.
Well, okay, you know. You know, hey, look, I'm trying to be PC here, all right? Because, you know, I don't know that well, all right?
Yeah, okay.
But let's face it.
Mansplaining.
Yeah.
No. That was what we call in the literary world. You call that clearing your throat. And for other things, I'm trying not to come off as one of these ists or isms or whatever the. All right, you know what? I'm not going down that particular foxhole tonight. Anyways, no. So yeah, Carrie Fisher,
Debbie Reynolds,
David Bowie.
Yeah,
I mean, shit. Let's Dance was one of the first albums I actually bought with my own money when I started working for a living.
Yeah, we had. Yeah, there were a lot of big names, and I think one of the ones that hurts the most is when we found out that George Michael, after he passed, that people started coming out of the woodwork saying, "Yeah, you know what he did with all his money? He was using it to help people, but you were not allowed to talk about it." And he kept it quiet and kept it secret, and nobody knew about it until he passed. And it's like, wow, good guy.
Yeah,
good guy.
He did it. He did it for the love, so to speak.
Yeah. So, 2016. The two things that we can say about 2016 that didn't end up happening, didn't get Betty White, didn't get Brian Blessed. Those are good part. Didn't get me. So you know what?
How old's Brian Blessed now?
He is 80 years old, and ask us how we know that.
Last night on our show on Second Life, Joey did, as he does a list from crack.com. Joey, what was the list specifically titled?
Jeez.
It was the five badass.
Let me go find it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
effectively, it was 5 badasses that death overlooked. I guess is probably the closest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And number 1 on that list was Brian Blessed,
It was Brian
Yeah.
freaking.
which was absolutely hilarious because during the show we were bantering back and forth about him, only to find out he was number 1. Shujin just about threw his mic down and said, "Good night."
No, I took my headphones off. I hit the ending music. I had everything ready to go, and everybody in Second Life is like, "What the hell's going on?"
The title was specifically the 5 most immortal humans to ever walk the earth, or 5 people who couldn't be killed despite their best efforts.
Yeah.
I hope Keith Richards is on there.
No,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
no.
what?
We are talking. No, we are talking a guy who was so badass. He took an arrow to the taint and kept going.
What?
I'm gonna go
What is
over.
this?
I'm gonna go over the entries just really quick.
Yeah, and send me the link when you get done. By the way,
Number 5, Peter Freudchen dug his way out of an icy grave using his own frozen poop.
Alrighty then.
Huh?
Number
Yeah.
4, Jack
Keep going.
Lucas. I'm trying to. Number 4, Jack Lucas jumped on a grenade and skydived with a failed parachute.
Aye.
Number 3, an arrow to the taint and a point-blank bullet couldn't stop Sam Houston.
Wow.
Thought you were going to say Chuck Heston there for a moment.
Number 2, Tibor Rubin survived everything war could throw at him.
Okay.
And of course, if it will actually load and stop freezing up on me. And of course, number 1, nature succumbs to the will of Brian Blessed.
that's why we were joking before about Brian Blessed and going up Everest, because one of the things he did was went up Everest without oxygen. And the joke that we had about it was that he didn't so much surmount Everest so much as just kept walking and told Everest to get under his feet.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't successfully climb Everest, but he has set the record for the oldest son of a. That,
Say it.
Oh no, I can't.
Yes, you can.
No. But he is the oldest person, oldest living person to ever get above 28,000 feet without the aid of an oxygen tank.
Damn.
So yeah, he's and we also came up with the idea that the next great. Yes.
Well, I was just going to say, come to think of it, he could have probably gotten to the top of Everest, but he's had to turn back so many times because, let's see, he's had excursion fellows who needed to be rushed to the hospital, and terrible weather.
Amazing that. Yeah, and then we started to think about what would be the best and worst roles he could ever play. I had come up with the worst would have been Tweety Pie.
Oh,
Somebody
God.
came up with both arguably the worst and then the best. The worst, Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
But then the best, if he were to become the new voice of Megabyte from Reboot.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm not familiar enough with that. See,
Dude,
when
I love
you
that
said-
cartoon.
when you said Tweety Pie, the first thing that popped in my head was Tinkerbell.
They'd have to rename Megabyte to Terabyte now, though.
Well, there has been Gigabyte. No, Terabyte was.
It was Gigabyte. I know what you're talking about. I remember that
Yes.
show. It was Gigabyte.
Yes. I'm gonna have to pull out the DVD set. Anyway,
Yeah, but see, back in the day, terabytes didn't really exist as more than a theoretical model back then.
now we're
Yes, we're old. What's your excuse?
now we're looking at petabytes and exabytes, and we're thinking, oh, that's going to be the day.
Oh, that would be the new next bad guy. Exabyte.
That's not a bad. Anyway,
Mhm.
speaking of bad guys, Heretic Woman, you've been gone for a couple of weeks.
Yes.
You haven't done any work on trying to figure out what's been going on with Rafe, have you?
I talked to one of his friends.
Oh, you've done better than I have.
Ali Rizvi and Alishba Zarmin, who are good friends of theirs, and Ali actually grew up in Saudi Arabia, and I don't think he knew Rafe at the time, but they had corresponded and whatnot, and nothing has changed on that front. So
Yeah, which is not too far off from what I've got, which is a whole bunch of freaking nothing yet, unfortunately.
yeah.
Which means, unfortunately, as of the recording of our show, and no, I'm not letting this go by the wayside. Yes, I did miss last week, and I apologize, but as of the recording of this show, it is now 4 years, 6 months, 22 days since Rafe Badawi was unjustly incarcerated for thought crime. Our thoughts and our hopes are still with you and your family, man.
And
So
to be
27
fair, you didn't actually have a show last week, so you didn't really miss it.
The previous show, I meant.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for that either. So.
Yeah, that's because you were out at the Cow Sex Club or whatever the hell it was.
The Bovine Sex Club, yes.
Whatever. You know what? The rules up there in Ontario are a hell of a lot different than from down over here.
Hey, I spent
we don't
New Year's Eve at the Opera House listening to the Lemon Bucket Orchestra.
Okay then. And a good time was had by all.
And was that?
Yes, indeed.
Is the bar actually called the Bovine Sex Club?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've been going there since about 1992.
I always had this kind of like, how do you say envie in English? To open up a bar in Toronto called the Itchy Anus.
That'd be awesome. You should open it down the street from the Bovine.
I mean, what
Anus?
would the locals say?
Well, Tech, think about it. I mean, what are they going to do? The worst they could
They'll
possibly do
come
is-
in with, and troll him to death
maybe.
by constantly coming in and showing up and bringing him bottles of Preparation H.
Oh,
And
then he could sell them on the black market and make extra money.
I was going to say, turn that around, and we could see the eradication of we could see the eradication of hemorrhoids before the end of this decade.
There you go.
At least in the GTA.
the funny part of it was that when you were saying selling on the black market, I was thinking, no, that's the pink market. And I really don't think we need to do that. I would really like to apologize for that. I just can't.
No, you don't. You don't want to apologize.
You must have had it bleached. then.
Yeah,
Oh.
folks, if you thought hashtag sorry not sorry only existed on Twitter,
Yeah.
Hey, that's a card in Cards Against Humanity is bleached asshole. I'm
I
just saying.
appreciate that. Could be worse. Could be worse. Could be chocolate. We'll talk another time about this. That's a list for another night.
yes,
That's
indeed.
that's what I spent my Christmas day doing. I was playing Cards Against Humanity with heathens.
Wow, I was getting really worried there because oh god, I thought there was going to be a chocolate thing in there. Wow.
Well, we did eat chocolate.
You not later. Oh wow, later. Anyway, so new year, not exactly new season, but new year. Coming up on 150 episodes of this crap. Wow, that actually sounds a lot better than what I thought it was going to. It's like I said, it's a new year, and a lot of people end up with resolutions. The running joke when I was with the Amiga users groups, not that anybody remembers what that is anymore, was 1024 by 768 on a multi-sync with 16.5 million colors. That's what I want to ascribe to. I've got that beat, but there are things that we want to try to do. And we've talked about that we've wanted to do and still want to accomplish. So I want to kind of basically open it up for us. And if for those of you that are watching, granted, there's not too many of you, but for those of you that are, if you want to chime in, feel free. It doesn't necessarily need to be for the show. I'm going to be trying to see what I can do about helping us along on a couple of those pieces, though. and one of which was mentioned is the phone number that we've got from Google Voice. Now, there is supposed to be a way of hooking up Google Voice so that we can use it on air through the live Hangout thing. I tried to understand it before, and it was less than simple, is the nicest way of wording it. There's supposed to be a way of piping it through and making it worth. I don't know. Uber Conference may not be something that we'll be able to work with in the future, mainly because Google has just recently announced that they're going to be dropping the API for third-party groups and apps. So we may or may not be able to use some of that stuff. Don't know. We got to wait and see. We're kind of at the mercy of what Hangouts can do. Is there a way of working around that a little bit? Kinda.
When the landlord sends notices like that, I think it's kind of a sign to pack up or start.
Yeah.
Well, one would think that.
Boxes. Anyways,
The thing is, though, there are shows similar to this on YouTube right now that are using different forms of software. I think maybe it's just something we should look at. I'm not sure how many of them allow for like live streaming though. That's kind of the question.
Yeah, there's plenty of them that allow that for especially gaming, Twitch, Justin TV, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do we have that available? I'm not sure yet. I do have installed on my system OBS, Open Broadcast Server System.
A lot of people use that.
Yeah. The problem of it is trying to figure out how I'd be able to utilize that with everything. I don't know. But like I said, sometime during this year, I will give that a little bit more search to find out what we can do to make us, at the very least, look a little bit better. And we did have at one point, and Dalan and I had kind of looked into this. We were looking at possibly getting picked up for some other podcast group's feed, and this is going back months and months now. And I forget which group it was. It doesn't matter. One of the things that they had in their write-up was the audio quality. And I was like, okay, we think that we do pretty well. And they specifically said Google Hangout is not good enough audio quality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Actually, Heretic Woman and Joseph, you know exactly who this group is. At least you know who's part of it. Yeah. Let's just say that a few of us have the history with them.
Yeah. But,
that group. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Now that explains why there's the. Yeah. Okay.
I'm kind of a bit behind.
Fabrice.
Starts with P, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the text you can drop anyway. But the bottom line of it was, even though I thought that was kind of an arbitrary thing, because to me, the quality is a little bit more important than the quality. I guess maybe is one way of working it. I mean, AM radio, talk radio is huge on AM radio because you don't need the huge amount of fidelity that goes into FM. Okay, we're definitely above AM quality. We're not FM clear crystal, but at the same time, we do what we do because we enjoy it, and it's good enough.
Right.
Should we investigate recording ourselves individually and then splicing it together? You know what?
Oh God, no.
No, none of us is really.
Suck.
It would. Plus, I mean, let's face it. As much as we would love to be able to have the same kind of numbers as Skeptic's Guide, screw that noise. We do this for fun. This isn't a job, and I don't ever want it to be a job, especially for me. Because I mean, shit, audio, no, dude, no. And Dalan does more than I could ask for as it is, and I try not to ask because I don't want to put you out because you do. But is there stuff that we can do to kind of add to what we're working with now? I'm going to give that a shot. I'm going to try.
Well, and part of my my actual job. Some of you know that I've done some voice work for my company. It was kind of off the cuff. They were looking for somebody who knew the product and could communicate, a certain feature about it in a professional manner. And lacking everybody else, they pegged me for it. But one of the people who's in charge of training, documentation, videos, and all of that, they're on mat leave this year.
Oh.
And I think it's going to fall to me to do a little bit more than what I normally do. So learning video software, I've been looking at that OBS, possibly looking at doing something similar to a Let's Play. Not with my face, talking about the program, but for instance, having the software transmit a message to a device that you see in real space, and that would be in your little screen up on the corner, if you know what I mean.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Well, one of the guys already did it with one promo video, but if we can put more of a professional spin on it, I mean, there are no professional media producers where I work. Mm-hmm. So it's basically, let's throw everybody at the wall and see who can stick. And my voice has stuck. Another person's video capability has stuck. Yeah. I do have a good shampoo for that, but
Get the man some wet naps.
Okay, that whole thing went into someplace I really didn't want to think about.
But it comes.
I can think about, just not in this company.
Okay, I just spent an hour talking with Foda. Can you blame me?
All right, fair enough.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. I can.
I'm sorry, Heretic Woman. Who did you say you were just hanging out with?
Foda.
I'm sorry.
Motherfucking Foda.
Dave,
motherfucking Foda.
Dave, motherfucking Foda. That's right.
The funny thing is, I've never seen.
We are now an R-rated show. Guy. Congratulations. Good night, everybody.
Oh hell, I think we did that 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
That was my fault. I read Joey's post verbatim, and I because I was just on for an hour with motherfucking Foda on my channel where I say fuck like all the time. So yeah, sue me.
All right,
did he plug his computer in for that?
It's time for somebody to play Tim Minchin's "Fuck the Motherfucking Pope."
Yeah, no, there's only so much that we can push, and copyright. I don't want to be screwing around without it. No, I don't do that. But
fuck the motherfucking Pope anyway.
Okay, fine. By the way, Dave.
Oh, sure.
Dave, you know full well. Dave, just want you to know, we say that because we care, because I have to use the L word. I have to use the L word. Lesbians. I think I just channeled my inner Scott Pilgrim.
And Joseph is like, where?
But,
he's like, they're gonna fall from the sky.
No, but I know, yeah. Dave. We do love you, man, and the only reason we say that is because it's funny as hell to say. Come on, it's almost like
I'm sure he loves it.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't listen either. But hey, it's almost as much fun saying.
He'll listen if he finds out we're talking about him.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. He won't even bother.
All right, what's his Skype?
He doesn't use Skype.
It's Dave M. Photo.
Joke.
Okay.
Yes. I was going to say, it's almost as much fun as saying Amish Wolverine. We've been away from that for
Amish
way too
Wolverine.
long.
That's right. He's got company this weekend, so
he needs a distraction, is what you're saying.
No, it's not that kind of company. It's company. But that's why he's like he could only spare an hour to talk. Well, it ended up being an hour and a half, but yeah.
Yeah, when you have to walk it twice a day.
Yeah.
And look at the bright side. At least it wasn't David Smalley. 18 hours at a clip. And David Smalley does a show. It's like me doing my my mid-May fundraising 36-hour shot. Yeah. At least I don't. At least in between songs, I'm not. Some people get that.
What's with all the ragging on David Smalley lately?
No. This is good-natured ribbing because we like him.
Yeah.
That's my story. I'm sticking with it. I don't care. You can beat me up. But there is one other thing that I wanted to let you guys know about, if you didn't already. If you've been following the social media channels for us and myself personally, I'm going to ReasonCon.
There you go.
I'm going. It's going to be. Well, see, I don't know, because it's going to be me and the little one. It's a 10-hour drive down and a 10-hour drive back, and
do it all the same day.
Almost
Uphill both ways.
No, it's downhill from where I am.
No snowstorms, at least.
Well, not
true.
not at that point, but
rainstorms would be interesting.
It's shorts weather for me last time I went.
Yeah, but it just double checking.
That's 7 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, but Brigid, we kind of sort of discussed this. That's still on the table, yes?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, we're gonna be there. It's a little bit of money, and I'm a little concerned about how much that's going to be, because I've got several items that are coming up this year. I'm going to do ReasonCon, which is a lot of investment time in driving. It's a bit of money at the con, admittedly, but I think it's going to be for a good thing when all is said and done.
Absolutely.
Going to be going to let's see. I've got Fernal Equinox coming up in Toronto. ReasonCon. I have promised to DJ somebody's wedding, for which the Master of Ceremonies is going to be a one Mr. Matthew Ebel.
Wow.
So that's going to be fun.
No kidding.
Yeah. And of course, Anthrocon in the summer. I don't have anything else planned to be on that at this point. I'm concerned about how money is going to be for me for this year with all of this, which means I need to make sure that I do the stuff that I have not been able to get over myself yet. So I kind of need to pull up my granny panties and get to work on stuff that's been really tough to get started with. And I'm finding out, unfortunately, that trying to get things started is not as easy as I thought it might be, because inertia. And that's not fun. It's not fun to get through. But that's where I'm going to be, and I'm going to be trying really hard this year. This is going to be really tough, but I'm going to really work at a lot of things. Not just for myself personally, but for all of you guys, the crap crew, and for those of you that are watching and listening. So little pieces here and there. So if you notice something that goes good, it's me. And if something breaks, it's motherfucking Dave Foda. I don't care. Well, it's either blame Foda or blame Dalan, and truthfully, Dalan is more likely to find me and hurt me. So
come on, just jump on the bandwagon and blame God like everybody else does.
Speaking of which,
we need to replace.
Wait. Which one?
anyone will do. Pick your favorite.
Funny you should mention that.
I blame the great juju of the sea.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that. I don't know if anybody else has heard about this one, but apparently the headline that I've got for you guys this week is God banned by Facebook for wanting healthcare and education.
Yes, I saw that. It took a couple of seconds until I realized, wait a minute, I follow God on Twitter. Oh, it's that God.
Yes, it is. Brigid, you've been too quiet. Did you see about this?
I did see that.
I didn't see it.
Some of my friends have taken up the mantle of reposting that post just on principle.
Yep. Let me put the link in there for you guys to take a look at.
See, that is where you retweet the hell out of that.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, it's like people that'll post a video, have it ripped to pieces by everybody with a brain, only for it to be taken down and hopefully forgotten. By which, at that point, every single critic worth their salt has already copied it. You know what you did, MTV.
Yeah, ain't that beautiful? Yeah. So the posting from at the good
The
God,
good God
above
above.
states.
Yeah, I
You know what? Hold
follow
on.
God.
Hold on. Let me screen that guy. Where is it? There it is. For those of you that are listening and not reading, from God, dear Americans, stop making your military so damn huge and give people medicine and education because you're sick and stupid. Thanks, God.
God.
Yeah, you know, compared to other things that I've heard and seen on Facebook, hell, shit, compared to some of the shit I have posted on Facebook and shit that pissed me off, that's fucking tame.
It's very
Yeah.
tame, but it violates community
Very.
standards of Facebook, I guess.
Oh, they don't even know what their fucking community standards are. Like,
Dude, the guy, what's his face? What's that fuckwit who Zuckerman, whatever the hell.
oh yeah,
He's
Zuckerberg.
even admitted that, you know, this shit's gone too far for some of the stuff where basically large groups of people get together and then they report something to the point of where it auto bans them and all that kind of shit. And we're going to look into it and we're going to fix this. And he still hasn't fixed this shit.
I see people on my feed who are like, you know, they have secondary accounts because this happens so often. And they're like, yeah, my primary account got banned. And somebody will say, oh, what for? They're like, oh, this post I made from 2 years ago, you know, and somebody found it and reported it. Like, give me a fucking break.
You know, see, my favorite thing about anything on Twitter or Facebook or Reddit, yes, I like Reddit, that where somebody's saying something about somebody else's God, or there's, you know, pretending to be somebody's God, or whatever the case might be. Maybe it's even just satirical in nature. To watch the holier-than-thou people come out of the woodwork, blaspheme all over the place in the name of their God, which, if you read some of these holy books, say, hey, guess what you're not supposed to do? You know, and they do it anyway. Like tattoos and shellfish and all sorts of shit. But they go absolutely batshit crazy to the point of where they wish the worst things possible on these people.
Yeah.
And the ones who are wishing the harm are the ones who, according to their own books, well, if you wish harm upon others, harm's going to come upon you. You know, karma being a bitch in some cases, or
especially if you are one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the whole thing about turning the other cheek, nobody pays attention to. And I really love the fact that the ones who are doing this satire know more about what the religious texts say than the people who follow the religion. And it's never more self-evident than when you watch them lose their shit.
Well, wait a minute.
Yep.
The whole thing, well, for an atheist, you sure know a lot about the Bible. Isn't that trope like number 25 or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
You want to take that happened. I mean, how many times have I posted like individual albums that show the multiple screen caps of my basically ripping people left, right, and center who are just like, I know my shit. You know what?
They don't.
I still think it's highly amusing that for some reason, Shujin, that whenever you do that, somehow somebody always ends up comparing you to either a pedophile. that one was interesting. You remember that one?
Not
That was a
offhand.
while ago.
Yeah, they were saying that was that one that was in the forum that was like really long, extended out, and you were trying to save it so he couldn't delete his conversation piece. That was about a year ago.
Ooh, I think that was the bakery thing.
No. It was about religion.
Anyway.
But anyway, they tried to compare your argument to somebody who was defending pedophilia, and you were saying, no, this actually has nothing to do with that. And they said, oh, so you agree with pedophilia? It's like, wait, what? Or Hitler, of course. You know, somehow it gets back to Hitler some point.
Of course, Godwin.
All right, Godwin.
Well, I mean, people mash the Godwin button like they mash buttons in a video game.
See, now if they could just mash a woman's button, they'd be able to get pleasure out of them, and they wouldn't have to spend so much time on the internet.
Okay,
And
let's
just when you thought the ratings couldn't get any worse.
all right. Let's leave my BDSM stuff out
Yeah,
of the
stop.
equation
We
for
don't
a
want to
couple
hear about
seconds.
your personal life. I mean,
But hey, speaking of Twitter, there's another one that I wanted to touch on really quick.
After talking about buttons, don't say about touching on stuff. Come on.
It's okay. This one's
caress.
this one's gonna hit every.
Don't forget the circle. You got to go around the house sometimes, not just knock on the door.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
I have to tell you
On
guys.
your finger.
I have to tell you guys, I just finished a really academic book on the history of goddess culture and how it was supplanted by monotheistic patriarchal religions and whatever. The Jesus fish, it is a vagina.
Yes!
It is
I'm with that,
absolutely a vagina.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there.
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Was Brigid back in time from grabbing her soda to hear that?
No.
No.
No, but wait a second. If it's a vagina, why is it shaped like a fish?
Because it's supposed to fish?
They didn't have scratch and sniff back then.
No.
Oh, God!
Not even gonna. But by the way,
There go our last two viewers.
as a matter of fact,
shit.
we've got somebody who's chiming in. Zarin Icy over there. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll take that.
Hi, girly.
Yeah. Zarin actually said, "You guys are amazing." I'm gonna accept that as a compliment until I'm told otherwise. So I'm gonna take that. I don't care.
Yeah, but anyways, okay. To switch gears slightly.
Yeah. By the way, somebody. All right. When Dalan's done, somebody remind me about button mash because there's something I got to talk about on that one too.
Oh,
Go
boy.
on.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Okay, well, this one here.
Should I leave again?
No.
That
Actually,
depends. What do
we
you
need
do
your
when
help
you're
on this
gone?
one. Okay, we were talking about Twitter before this whole thing took a very, very dark turn. And
Not that bleak.
of course, one of the most active Twitter users that's out there right now is Shujin, you do the formal name much better than I do. Could you please say it?
President-elect Donald J. Fucknugget Trump.
Thank you.
Also known as the walking cheetah.
I was gonna say faux Cheeto, but whatever.
Although speaking of which, I understand there. When the last time I was in the States, I was watching TV because that's about the only time I can watch TV because I don't have cable. The Chia Trump exists.
Yes, it does.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
it does. I saw it at my local
seen
hardware
it.
store.
Yeah.
I've seen
Anyways, well, as you know, Trump just can't keep his fingers off a keyboard. Twitter to him, I swear to God, is like cocaine.
What's wrong with cocaine?
Wait
Those
for
tiny hands are perfect for a BlackBerry.
Yeah. Anyways,
Hey, my BlackBerry is big now. Okay, just saying.
okay. Before we get into the whole phone envy,
bigger is better.
yeah, you guys do
Uh-huh.
know. Yeah, you guys do know that the Celebrity Apprentice is still going on.
With
Yeah,
Arnold.
Yeah, its new host is Arnold.
I picked these up and I put them down.
I saw you with those peanuts. Put them down. Do it
Get to
now.
the chopper.
Get to
Anyway.
Chipotle.
This is a
Moving
great
on.
way to start off a new year. I'm sorry. I don't care what kind of topics we were on. This is great.
At any rate. Now, the first airing of The Celebrity Apprentice with the Governor as its host apparently didn't do that shit hot in the ratings.
You think?
And of course, Donny Boy, he had a few things to say about it.
Yeah, didn't he say it sucked or something?
Oh, yeah, he had this. And I quote, "Wow, the ratings are in and Arnold Schwarzenegger got swamped or destroyed. By comparison to the ratings machine, DJT. So much for ... Okay. The first 2 words of that formal name, Shujin said. President-elect.
Yeah.
In 13 days, in less than 2 weeks, this guy is going to be sworn in as the so-called leader of the free world, the commander-in-chief of the most powerful nation on this planet in this current century.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got, I'm not saying the balls, he's got the time to fire off a tweet to some guy who just took over a show that he was the big man of back in the day.
But did you know that he owns part of the show? So by him saying that it sucked like that, he's actually going to boost ratings.
Yeah, but anyways, Arnold's response. There's nothing more important than the people's work. And then he said, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you'll work for all of the American people as aggressively as you worked for your ratings. Translation, sit down, shut your mouth, and do your fucking job.
Yeah.
And actually,
That's awesome.
I went to Donald's page, like the page where he tweeted.
Yeah.
The responses. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Like there was one. Hey, so you've got time to complain about the ratings on The Apprentice, but you don't have time to attend an intelligence briefing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. This guy is probably going to go down. Now, again, I am not a complete student of American history, but I'm going to wager that this guy is going to go down as the single most hated commander-in-chief in your country's history.
Shrub Jr. is probably like throwing a party because finally somebody they hate worse than me.
Yeah.
Dude, between Bush and Trump, I'd vote for Bush.
Yeah, that's the scary thing.
There's a lot of Bush miss me yet memes going around.
Yeah, no kidding.
The answer to that is yes.
Yeah, but
Sli-
only in this
so-
particular context.
Sli-
Let's not forget too. Somewhere there is going to be a presidential library with the words "Grab them by the pussy," immortalized for all time.
Yeah.
It's going
I got
to be
nothing.
filled with coloring books.
Well, you know, between the binders full of women and grabbing them by the pussy, they're going to turn the White House into a porn studio eventually.
Hey,
Totally.
Idiocracy was a preemptive documentary.
Yep. Well, look at Caligula. He got his senators' wives to be hookers to raise money for the empire. So
Yeah, didn't he name a horse to office too?
yeah.
Well, my understanding is they don't always reuse names of different operations that they've performed, that the various military and things like that. So I could see Donald Trump, while he's in office there, reviving the name Operation Deep Throat.
Yep. Probably.
Red Tube is going to be now known as White Tube. That's great. Just relocated the servers into the. Oh no, you can't use private servers in the White House. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's true.
It was too soon. I'm sorry.
He doesn't need private servers. He's just going to upload everything to Twitter.
Yeah. Twitter is his private server.
Yeah, he'll just put on there hashtag don't read, don't copy.
Yeah. By the way,
No,
somebody suggested-
hashtag top secret.
Or
Yeah,
hashtag FUOU.
Somebody has already suggested on Twitter to Mark Hamill that he should record Twitter remarks from President-elect Donald J. Fucknugget Trump as the Joker and upload them for everyone. And he's already said, if only there were a way that I could do that. Basically.
Yeah.
Paraphrasing. But
Yeah.
Translation, copyright.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Why would you want to make the Joker look bad?
basically just putting the tweets in audio context. I, however, would be more than happy on my time away from the little one to do a little bit of recording. I don't have the best recording studio. To
Just
put it
do it
nicely,
live. Just do it live, man.
I could, but I'm not going to. By the way, Borden, see you over there. Is there any advice for depression? We'll come to that in a couple of moments. I just wanted everybody to hear it.
It's
so
not
that we don't
alcohol.
miss it. No. Oh God, no.
Alcohol
No.
bad.
Yeah. But the idea of these tweets being redone in somebody else's voice,
Mhm.
okay, the Joker would absolutely be on like one end of the spectrum.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones would be an interesting one for the midline. And then I have to try to imagine some of these Trump tweets as Brian Blessed's voice from Sultan. I would go over the moon for that.
So you'd be like, what?
Don't tell me like, yeah, this would be the only way those tweets would ever sound good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And considering Comet TV has apparently been playing Flash Gordon several times over the last couple of weeks, yeah, it's a little on my mind. I'm flipping through the channel. Oh, Flash Gordon. Yeah, okay. Wait a second. Ming's logo looks a lot like Celestia's cutie. Never. Later. Is there any advice for depression? You know what? Yes. Us. Watch us every opportunity you can.
Yeah.
Or better yet, don't take medical advice from a podcast. Okay, that's item number one.
That would be definitely a good idea.
However,
and never get a second opinion on medication from a Scientologist. Rule number 2.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, stay the hell away from Scientology, definitely.
but the best part of it is we do have a medical expert, Brigid. Hi.
I thought she was a medical insurance expert.
The funny thing is, at least on my screen, the way the cameras are oriented, Shujin, when you did that turn, you were actually looking at Joseph because Bridge is on the other end.
Yeah, same here.
So for me, this looked like supremely fucked up.
Hi.
That's better.
Well, you see now, if we ever do get into another thing where you can actually arrange the different
Oh God, if only.
things with the video.
Oh, like the
if we-
Brady
That'd be-
Bunch.
Yeah, we'd
like
have
the
to know
Brady
exactly. We would have to be spatially aware of where everybody is. Oh,
Like
the
Hollywood
shen-
Squares.
the shenanigans we could get into. And I think, I think back to a guy, Shujin, you know him quite well. I have actually had the honor of meeting him face to face, George Robb.
Yes.
Years ago, he did a video for a song of his called The Assumption. And it was 9 QuickTime movies playing on his screen. Now, this is back when 9 QuickTime movies playing all at once would kill a computer.
Wow.
Yes, I'm dating myself again. But anyways, again, he had all 9 of them going, and they were all kind of spatially aware of where they were. To the point where one guy's singing, another one actually looks up to see that, the camera's above and stuff like that.
Neato.
Yeah. Go ahead and YouTube it at some point. You'll get a kick out of it. I mean, this was just something he did just for the hell of it.
Yeah, we'll link that. We'll link that
Yeah,
for folks to
I
take
think
a
we
look at.
should.
But
Bridget.
Bridget,
Uh-huh.
there you go. Hi.
Hi.
There you go.
So depression sucks.
Yeah, it sucks really, really hard. Only advice I have is to find a good therapist. And if they offer you medications, sometimes it takes a lot of experimentation, but medication does help.
Now, if memory serves, medication for depression is tricky because there are a lot of different possibles. There are a lot of different possible side effects. I know I'm not going with the whole joke of may cause depression and anxiety and all that.
Yeah.
We know full well. You start mucking around with the chemistry of the brain, anything and everything ends up happening. But the cause of the depression itself is probably one of the biggest factors to try to isolate, though, isn't it?
That's damn good advice. Because all the medication does is deal with the symptoms.
You know, but if you have something that's neurochemically wrong, then sometimes medication is the only thing that will fix that. Some people are born with propensity towards depression for no external causes, but if it's an external cause, therapy and CBT is probably your best bet to deal with that. If you're specifically referring to depression because of Trump being elected, I can't help you there because I'm feeling it myself.
I may actually have a decent recommendation here.
Help that.
Yeah, Tech?
If you're depressed, and you don't have depression running in the family, see a psychologist first. A psychiatrist, a psychologist. The reason being is they both basically do the same thing. But a psychologist tries to do it in a way that finds the underlying problem and helps you cope with it, assuming that it's not a chemical disposition with your brain or body or something like that. But if they come to the conclusion that, okay, here's what's going on, you seem to be having some kind of biological function that's causing this, then they may actually refer you to a psychiatrist who is somebody with the proper training to start beginning the trials with different medications to see what works best for you.
See, I already have a problem with biochemically wrong, because I'd hate to give advice on that, because one of the biggest...
Let them finish.
Yeah.
Let them finish.
Their definition of wrong, you'll find that the subconscious doesn't lie. So that usually means there's something wrong in your life, basically. And you have to find out what that is and chase that down. Usually, most depression is caused by people who aren't getting any reward from whatever they're doing.
Yeah, that can happen. Let me kind of put it this way. If you're watching us, first off, of course, don't take medical advice from a podcast, but as
take it with a grain of salt.
Well, yes, but as friends,
from wherever you get it.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, as us, as friends to you, we'd like to think that we're kind of all in this together. Item number 1. Don't heap anything more on yourself about it. Just because you feel something doesn't mean there's something quote unquote wrong with you. There's nothing bad about you. Don't heap that on top of yourself. That cycle of I should be better, but I'm not, so I feel bad about that. But I should be bigger than that and stronger than that, but I should move on, but I can't, and I haven't been able to, so I feel worse. That cycle, that sucks. Don't get sucked into that. Been there, done that. Can you tell?
That's kind of what I was trying to say. Also, because it's not your fault. I mean,
CBT is a good it's cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that is something that you can be taught by a therapist. It's dealing with. I'm trying to explain this. I'm not doing too well. Where you recognize that you're having certain symptoms and certain thought processes, and you're cognizant of that, and you have exercises to overcome that thinking and to repattern it, and to recognize when you're doing it. But you can be taught how to do this by a therapist. And my first bit of advice would be to go see a therapist and try to find out what's bothering you. Maybe they can help you get to the bottom of it. Sometimes there are neurochemical imbalances, and that's later when you go see a psychiatrist to work on that if that happens to be a problem. But most important advice I have is if you have depression, go see somebody and get that evaluated.
Because even talking about it is good.
Yeah. Along that angle, also, if you're watching us, if you've been watching us, if you like watching us, please remember that
When you get frozen, you can't say anything.
There.
You,
What I was gonna
you
say-
froze up. Yeah, you froze up, Shu.
Funny enough, I didn't see anything. Anyway, what I was going to say was, if you normally watch us, if you like what we do and our overall messages, you might also need to.
Technology is a wonderful thing.
Somebody
First it was Joe, now it's Shujin. Thanks, Google. No, wait. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Thanks, Trump.
You froze with a lovely sort of "I'm kissing
Duck
you"
lip.
face. Duck lips.
That's great. That's great, because I don't see anything wrong over on my side. That's great. All right,
No, it's
And
probably
that's-
Google.
That's usually what the problem is.
that's great. Anyway, some therapists will be theists. Some of them will have the whole spirituality thing, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean.
Yeah.
If you are careful, you should be able to easily vet these people that won't cause more harm, if you are of the like-minded with us. So please keep that in mind. And for what it's worth, we do have a voicemail line. If you want to call just to talk, and I can email you back and give you whatever, or call and talk sometime. Please
I
take
think
advantage of
there
it.
was
I'll throw
somebody
out the shameless
visiting.
plug to the Secular Therapist Project.
Yes, that's what I was trying to remember. Thank you.
Yep.
Well, you know what? We'll add that link. We'll add that
Yeah.
link to our stuff too. Yeah, tech.
No, she already said what I was going to
Perfect.
point towards.
Just talking about it's already a great start. And
Yes.
sometimes
Absolutely.
medication, I'm dissing medication because of my own experience, but that's just me. But medication is good. It's a good start sometimes, just to get yourself out of whatever you're in, to give yourself enough objectivity
Yeah,
to really look at the problem.
What it
It
does
buys
is
you time. It can.
it
in
lifts.
some cases.
It kind of lifts the veil so you can think clearly enough to start.
Yeah.
Your own healing, so to speak.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't suggest it as a permanent solution. I mean,
No.
you're going to be on medication for life.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that you have to do extremely carefully. It's a long ramp up and it's a long ramp down, and if you miss dosages or you overdo, it's like I said, you're playing with brain chemistry, man. You need to be careful about it. Now, we're not saying that you should do it, and we're not saying that you shouldn't do it. We're saying if that's the avenue that you go down.
Here's one piece of advice: anybody who sees a psychiatrist and the doctor's talking about medication, do not be afraid to ask for knowledge about the medication, side effects, how long it's been in use, how long was it, what was it originally designed for, how did they come to the conclusion that it's going to be something that's going to best help you out for what you need.
But that's the scary part. They don't know completely how it works.
Well, like for example, there's one that was originally designed as a heart medication. It begins with the letter T. I forget what it's called now, but they found out in small doses it has the side effects on helping with AD&D. Okay, not Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, attention deficit disorder. Sorry. Yeah, it does not give you a +6 against ogres. Anyway, it in small quantities, it doesn't do its intended purpose as a heart medication. It instead works on the brain in helping with focus for ADD. So it's interesting how we've come across, medically speaking, of so many different medicines and whatnot, like Wellbutrin. Wellbutrin, which is an antidepressant, was originally thought to be a new kind of drug that would help with ADD or ADHD. And then they found out, it's not doing what we thought it was going to do. It's actually quite making people hyper. Oh, well, here's why. It actually turns out this damn thing's acting as an antidepressant. Okay, well, we got a new antidepressant drug. And
They-
believe it or
they
not,
know
that
that-
one gets assigned to a lot of smokers who are trying to quit.
In
Joseph?
short, they know that it works, but they don't know why.
Yeah.
And the best they can do is it impedes the serotonin uptake. It's
Well, that's why they do small doses and see, and what they do is they ask for feedback. You know, what's your results been? What kind of side effects have you been seeing since we've assigned you this medication? Have you noticed anything personally? Has anybody around you, you know, if you like live with a family, what have
you
they
read the
noticed?
notice on these? Because I mean, it's kind of scary when you read on your. You know, I'm talking about this because I've been through this for a while, and
I've been through depression. I have chronic depression, believe it
no,
or
the
not.
medication part. I mean,
Yes,
I
I've
was.
been on some nasty shit that's been taken off the market.
If you read the notice, it says it may cause suicidal thoughts. Suicidal. That's
Oh, you're on that one.
Antidepressive medication. That's kind of a scary thing to read.
Yeah,
I had
let's-
one that said may cause vomiting, and I'll tell you, the taste of it, because it came in liquid form, I wanted to vomit. I was hoping it would make me vomit because I didn't want that stuff in me.
Yeah, let's just kind of wrap this really easily. Whatever way you go, be extremely careful. If you want to learn a little bit more about what it is that's being suggested for you, there are people who know what goes into it. Don't just read the pamphlets that go along with the medication. As somebody who's worked in a pharmacy before,
They're trying to sell it.
if you have a pharmacy that is a local, independently owned, and they're hard to find, talk with the pharmacist, because sure as shit, they will know exactly what it is, what it's going to do, and what you actually need to be worried and concerned about, and what you can actually expect to have happen.
Talk with as many people as you can about it. I mean, just don't hesitate to talk about it, because the more honest you are about it, about your own problem, with yourself and with others, you know, the better advice you're going to get overall.
Yeah, and that's about the depression. As far as to talking with a lot of people about medications, talk with the people who know what the hell they're talking about.
Talking about medication too.
Well, yes, okay. You know what? All right. Remember what I mentioned about button mash? Scratch that for now, because I also got into somebody else who is somebody I knew from high school that posted another one of these things about what cancer actually is a lack of a particular nutritional thing, and you need supplements in order to make sure that you've got this. And they specifically, let's see if anybody catches this one, they were specifically touting B17.
The bomber?
No, not the bomber.
Number is B17.
Definitely
Caught
not
in the car late at night in
Steve.
Minneapolis. You better be 17.
But theoretically, one of those would cure just about anything.
Yes, so will Joey, a 50 caliber bullet will pretty much kill anything in a petri dish too, right?
I love it.
Took us 5 days to find the results of that experiment.
Yeah. Okay. Remember, folks, YouTube the name Full Mag to see exactly what we're talking about. It may not exactly be a petri dish, but he blows up a whole lot of stuff with a 50 caliber bullet. Let me tell you.
See, that's why I prefer going the route with just something with a very high pH, like acid.
50 caliber.
Hydrochloric acid will kill just about anything in a high enough pH. You get that up to, what is it? The 10 on the pH scale. That's acidic, or is
Nope.
that?
No, that's the base.
That's the base.
That's what
Okay,
turns
so
your body.
we want to go to 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey, you were going to say 50 cal? What?
I was going to say 50 caliber is more appropriate for taking organic matter and spreading it over a wide area. If you want to kill everything in a petri dish, Mark 19 is definitely a considerable.
Using your example of
option.
50 caliber bullet, the first thing that popped into my mind was that it was an old-fashioned manure spreader.
Wait, Mark 19 is
Well-
that a suit of Iron Man armor?
No, Mark 19 is a automatic belt-fed weapon that fires 40-millimeter grenades.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
I think I'm in
It's also
love.
heavy. It's also very heavy.
I like heavy metal.
Pretty much, every bullet has a name. Grenades are addressed to whom it may concern. 50 caliber is fuck that guy over there 2 miles away. And Mark 19 is, you see that guy? Fuck him and everything in his general vicinity.
So in other words, what you're saying, it's the highest class of army spam you can think of.
Now, the reason why I was bringing up the B-17 is that
Because of CBT?
No, somebody had forwarded the whole cancer is not cancer is a money machine.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
lie, and what you need to do is to ingest more B-17. And I sent along my you know what? Let me. I have a couple of graphics that I specifically have in my holy crap folder, and the one that I forwarded along was, where is this one? Damn it, where is it?
I just have a personal message to those people who think that pharmaceutical companies are not trying to find a cure for cancer because they think it's just, more profitable to treat rather than cure. Here's the thing. If it ever comes out that a company has been working on a cure for cancer and maybe even approached it and decided to hide it, that company will have to sign its own death certificate because the public will never, ever, they may actually storm the building.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing that most people in the United States hate more than Trump right now. It's cancer.
Yep. And this is the image. I have this one in my collection that I just ready made and just boom, just dropped it in there. It's from David Wolf. We've heard of David Wolf.
Oh, avocado asshole.
Yep. Mom, why isn't there a cure for cancer? Because, Jimmy, there's far more money to be made treating a disease for a lifetime rather than curing it in a day. My response to that was, and anybody, feel free to tell me if I kind of went overboard on this one. On behalf of all of us who lost loved ones, who lost marriages, who lost children, whose children's parents died, robbing them of the family life they should have had, on behalf of the researchers fighting to learn how to correct for this condition, on behalf of all the nurses who spent days and nights not knowing if the people they are caring for are going to live or die, on behalf of all of us who know that this photo meme is a disgusting and reprehensible conspiracy theory that not only minimizes but belittles the lives of all those who have had dealings with cancer, who daily live with the after effects of cancer, who proclaim time and time again, fuck cancer, fuck your reposting of this disgusting piece of trash. If you have any human decency, you'll remove it and never repost it again.
Ooh,
I don't know.
very
Personally,
nice.
I think that I'm a little on the nice side for that one.
Yeah,
Being a
you
little
were-
tame.
But
Yeah, it
you're
was a
completely
little
right.
tame.
People
I
who make
applaud you on
memes
your
like
restraint on
that,
that one.
I'm sorry, Joseph.
Sorry.
yeah, the people who make memes like that have never had any experience with cancer. I mean, obviously,
Oh.
because
Well,
Kind of like the people
avocado.
who speak out in against abortion. They've never been put into that situation.
they've never been
Avocado
aborted,
asshole there. He's,
unfortunately.
I think Avocado, isn't he an anti-vaxxer too?
Amongst other things.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yes.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
point of it was, the page was a Han. Thanks for watching, by the way. See you over there. I posted it. She took a complete umbrage to it
Of
and
course.
said that she was going to wait for me to unfriend. And I basically had to say, look, I don't have ill will towards you. I'm trying to tell you, you were sold a stupid piece of unsubstantiated crap, and being ignorant about a deadly disease only breeds more dead bodies. And I mentioned and specifically sent the link to the 11-year-old we've talked about before, who went ahead and juice therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sincerely hoping that this person actually does a little bit of reading and research, because It's amazing what happens if you go and you look up B-17 on Wikipedia, because yes, you've got the bomber. I think, I could be wrong, but you've got this listing for this crap quack cure, which is over 100-year-old claim.
Ugh.
It's over 100 years old, this snake oil claim. If it worked, it would have worked already.
Yep.
The snake oil salesmen, they're the ones who most profit from
That was like
an illness still being around. But if you want to be completely honest about this post you were disparaging, there is a grain of truth to what she says, but it's but a grain in a fucking desert. I mean, so to talk about this little detail without talking about the whole problem, that's just a form of dishonesty.
Yeah,
so
still.
And the
Brigid,
pharmaceutical companies, I'm not so sure they're the ones doing the research, the most research.
no.
It's
No.
actually private organization. How do you say? I'm losing my English. Not the companies that depend, like the Cancer Association, like
the American Cancer
companies that
Association.
depend on private donors for the research.
Oh, sort of. Brigid, as I've understood the overall, the medicine chemicals, I guess probably I'm going to use the term chemicals, but in this case, I'm actually meaning medicines, because there's a lot to this. These chemicals are located, they are investigated, they find out what these compounds do, what they act on, what they seem to do by the drug companies, and they try to figure out through some in-house testing first, what does it do on petri dishes, and then external groups are contracted to do actual clinical tests independent of their own facilities. I'm probably making this a real Reader's Digest version, but so far, not too far off the truth.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Okay. There are a lot of places that do it. You'll usually hear, at least on this side of the border, I don't know where else it might be elsewhere, but usually you'll hear the name Cancer Research Hospital. That phrase very specifically. Now, the reason why I say that is we have, of course, over here in Buffalo, and I touted every opportunity, the Roswell Park Cancer Institute, RPCI. It is a cancer research and treatment hospital. I cannot sing praises enough about them, because they do treatment, they do testing, they have been on, forgive me, the bleeding edge on a lot of technology, including robotic surgery.
How are they funded, by the way?
They do get fundraisers, which is, I help out with every year. The Ride for Roswell, you guys have heard me talk about it on multiple occasions. They get funding from the state. I don't know where the vast majority of their funds comes from. I will admit that. But I cannot, I simply cannot sing enough about what organizations like them do.
Why aren't we hearing more about them in the media?
Because they're too busy covering Trump.
Yeah.
That's all too true. But
or the Florida shooting.
And why don't people know what cancer really is? I mean, that's this kind of topic brings up so many questions for me.
Because of education in this country. Look at how many people. No, seriously. Look at how many people in this country refuse to believe, right? Even though we have the empirical evidence that evolution occurs. Look at how many people in the world think the Holocaust was a hoax.
But we don't teach it. Like, it wasn't until Shu, I spent the first hour in your 36-hour dealie, not this year, the year before, where we talked about it, and I learned that there isn't a cancer, that there are hundreds of them, and they're all genetically different, and there will never be a cure for cancer. Each one needs to be addressed with its own genetics. And that's something I never heard of before.
Cancer is basically, it's a defective, it's a cell whose DNA is defective. And, every defect is different. There's 100 ways a car can break down. But,
hold on a second. It's not a defect. It's a replication error. It's kind of like being, the closest analog I could describe, and Brigid, I'm going to come to you in a second too.
Yeah, we need analog.
Yeah, the closest analog I could give you would be an old mimeograph machine where it starts off clean, but eventually, as the run progresses, you will find that there is a dot that started at one point and steadily has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and has gotten to be a larger multiple ring purple splotch on a page. It might be small, but it grows in significance. Now, like we were saying, Brigid, cancer is basically unique to every individual's DNA because of what it is, but there are types that have much more similar pieces than they are different. Leukemia, for instance, behaves in a very specific pattern.
That's propagation, though. There's localized, and then leukemia is a general propagation of cancerous cells.
Yes,
of any type, actually.
Yes, but the point is there are specific classifications, I guess is probably the better way of putting it.
Hold on a second. All right. One of the things that's going on here is we're trying to dumb down something that has a very deep foundation to it.
Not dumb it down at all.
Well, let him finish. Let him finish.
In a way, yes. Making analogies is a way of dumbing things down. It really is. Okay. At its best, it's a dumbing down in some way, shape, or form. As to the amount it doubles down, that is questionable based on the analogy and what you're talking about. Okay? That aside, to really understand cancer, to really understand the different types out there, there is a foundation that is needed. Richard Feynman used to talk about how to explain things to people. Well, if you have somebody who comes up and asks about a physics problem and has no physics training, you have to give them Physics 101 to get them to understand the problem in the first place before you can even give them the answer to it and have them understand how the answer works. And if they don't have the basics to even get to the Physics 101 part, you have to give them the other basics. And it really does, we're talking about things that have, well, we need information from over here, we need information from over here, and so on and so forth. And it really does come down to, once again, what my previous statement. Education is the problem, okay? When you go into a school that is government funded, meaning public school, and you have teachers in the science classroom saying, listen, you all know that Jesus made the world in 6 days and the earth is only 6,000 years old, but I've got to teach you that evolution is real, but even though it's just a theory, and they don't even know what the hell they mean by just a theory, they actually mean hypothesis, because a scientific theory is not a hypothesis.
But you see
we have a problem, and it exists, and this is why, and it's not just our country. The problem is education, and when you have religion somewhere trying to maintain its foothold or grow, it will always attack education that threatens it.
You're way
like
off
a
on
cancer.
a tangent there.
No,
I have to take umbrage to the dumbing down bit, because I mean, what is happening here is something all cancers have something in common. It's the same common thing. And what makes it complicated is our classification of it. So what I'm proposing is to cut through the classification of all the types of the same thing and explain the base, the common point. And
the common point would be an overgrowth of cells. There's a mechanism in the cells that that normally control growth, and that mechanism gets broken. So you have cells that overgrow and it forms masses and lumps.
Well, all cells reproduce, but a defective cell that reproduces and it's got its stop switch turned off. I don't know. I'd like to hear this.
That's the easiest way to. That's the easiest way to explain it.
Yeah,
I think that goes back to Shujin Dribble's Shujin's
yeah.
replication error statement that he made that he tried to knock out of the water.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yes,
there's a lot to it all.
Because science makes things complicated where it doesn't have to. I mean, there's this. That's another thing I've got a problem with is that most scientific knowledge could be accessible to the public, but
it is.
They've got their own shop talk that has really never been "quote unquote" translated into.
All right, time out. As an IT professional, when I talk to another IT professional like Shujin, he and I will use technical terms: Ethernet port, RJ45 connector. The two of them work together. All right. Now, to your standard homeowner who's calling in about their internet working, is the internet connection, is your internet cable connected to your computer? Is it the big one, or is it the little one that you use for like the telephone to make sure that they tell them the two apart? You're referencing sizes. Sometimes you get a homeowner who is a little bit knowledgeable and they understand the difference between an RJ11 and an RJ45 connector type.
But they
understand the difference between their modem, their modem and their dial-up modem port, or their telephone port, and their Ethernet port. But the reason why technicians always talk shop is because it's a specific language, and science does work in a specific language field.
That's normal.
Right. And when you dumb it down, you sometimes lose
it down.
You just said it's too complicated.
No, but it's not dumb. I mean, it's just you just don't
dumb it down. It's slang for simplifying something to the point of where your average person can understand it.
Okay, hold on. Let me run this a little bit differently. Is science inaccessible to the layman?
No.
Hold on. Yes, provisionally. Is it public education's fault? No, provisionally. Scientists do need to talk shop because of the specificity of what needs to be discussed in order to have scientists communicate accurately to each other.
Efficiently.
Efficiently and accurately.
Yes.
That is most important. Is the typical public school brought up individual going to understand all of what goes into that? Absolutely not. They need to work up in order to find out what all of that is, standing on shoulders of everybody else. Now, to go with that, science communicators are the in-between that we need. Feynman was great at that. Neil deGrasse Tyson is immensely qualified. Bill Nye, even though he only has a bachelor's. Beekman, even though he is a performer and a comedian and not a science person. Yes. Now, what we need to try to remember is that what got us into this was, who knows what cancer is and why don't we know? Heretic Woman was saying, she didn't know what cancer and quote unquote cancer is dependent on every single body that's out there.
Exactly.
It's DNA specific to everybody. And that was something that she didn't know. Now, is something like that inaccessible to the layperson? No, if you've got some knowledge of biology. But
which I don't.
Which most people would not find out about because it's not something that comes up. See,
Yeah.
it's not just a matter of where is your education coming from. It's also a matter of what circles you end up rolling through.
Yeah,
Sometimes you don't.
I
But-
have a cousin who had cancer like a decade ago, and it was treatable, and he got rid of it, and that's it. And so, like, I don't have anyone else in my family or circle that has struggled with cancer directly that I have any experience with at all.
If I may.
Yeah, Joe.
Cancer is a simplified umbrella term for an entire family of related, but not always like diseases. It is entirely dependent on the mutation of the cell where the cancer generated, how that mutation has occurred, what effects it had on the cell. This means that it can be very, very different for different people who have, different DNA, different cells, which in themselves, in the same body, have different DNA, and the location of that cell where the cancer originated.
That's in the classification.
Exactly. We've heard of the term benign tumor.
Yes.
That is a form of cancer that does replicate, but it doesn't move around the body. Malignant tumors are the ones where there's the chance of pieces of this cancer breaking off, getting lodged someplace else in the body, and producing a second tumor there. You have to look at cancer in a much broader perspective because it is not like your common flu, and it's not like pneumonia. That is why it is such a pain in the ass, because it is tricky on a genetic level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a single mechanism or faulty mechanism that can work in like thousands of different ways. So
Yeah. And to even though it may seem as a dumbing down for a second, this is in my mind a very, very good way of describing how common is it to know about what cancer, as an umbrella term, actually is. How many people are familiar with the term hydrazine in science? Not that many, generally speaking.
well, what does it do?
It puts objects into orbit. It's one of the fuels.
See, that's what I'm saying, because we're all perfectly capable of understanding that. The only barrier here is the language.
Exactly. But
Yep.
But I think what he was trying to get at was lung cancer. You can know what lung cancer is, but you might not know exactly how it can work. For example, if you're looking from a biological standpoint, do you know the exact processes that a lung cell goes through when, transferring oxygen from what's taken in during inhalation to transferring that oxygen to the bloodstream? Not everybody will know that specifically about every possible cell that could end up with cancer. Now, they can learn that, but they have to go looking.
But that's just the cell that it's affecting. That's what the cell does that it's affecting.
Yes, but the point of it is, who is knowledgeable about something that does not happen directly to them? You have to be in a circle where that's affecting. And if it's something that normally doesn't affect you, you're normally not going to know too much about it because ignorance is bliss. And for those of you that are watching and listening, if you are ignorant of cancer, you're very lucky. You have no idea.
Even if our discussion here were made available to a wider public, I mean, a lot of people will come away from it with better understanding, don't you think? Just with the analogies we made.
Yeah, but the thing is, these people who talk about how there's no money in a cure for cancer, I think Now,
don't have access to this type of.
Or to give bleach to your kid to cure autism.
well, but yeah, and actually, Joseph, I think you were on something there. They don't have access to a conversation like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like in their own social circles, they don't have people who have gone through it. You know, the way I see it are a lot of these armchair philosophers, which, let's face it, we are cut from that cloth.
Oh yeah,
That's another discussion.
Yeah, but no, okay, we do have a little bit of seasoning of experience on some things. You know, we're by no means experts at anything, but we've done a few things in our collective lifetimes. Now, the thing about is science. What was it you asked Shujin, if science was unreachable or something like that?
unavailable to the layman.
Unavailable. I think that stigma is being propagated, if that's the right word, to the common people. And, and we all know why that is, because, and Joseph, he harps on, he nails this every single time he's on the show. If we all thought critically, shows like this wouldn't have to exist, because we wouldn't be having half the problems we're having these days. But the trouble is, the people that are trying to stifle science are making it out to be this unreachable thing, this thing that only, geeks and nerds and elitists are only able to talk about. And it's, some unreachable thing. But look over here, we've got a simpler solution. And it's not only simpler, it's also true, because this book says so.
Yep. Nerd, geek, me.
And Shujin had it exactly right. I mean, you've got people talking shop, and then you've got the commoners, but there's no go-between. There's no...
Well, there is a go-between, and it's called your introductory science textbook.
What?
Well, all right, Joe. Well, hold on. I know
You're
what you're
teaching
going to
people to
go.
talk shop there. You see what I'm saying? But
But the thing is,
what science is actually doing is perfectly accessible to anybody. That understanding of what they're actually trying to do. I mean, you can send a satellite into space without understanding all the technical jargon behind every part in the satellite,
But the thing is, it's a layperson hearing two guys talk shop that, proliferates. That's the word I was looking for. That proliferates that whole stigma of unreachability. So, there has to be communication. But the thing is, how do you go from layperson to shop talker? Obviously, there has to be a path. Otherwise, those two guys wouldn't be talking shop in the first place.
Normally, that should be journalism doing that.
Journalism, or just something to set you on the path. But now, is it a path you want to go on? And that's, I think, where it goes, is that, okay, a guy like me, I am all to pieces enthusiastic about astronomy. I took astronomy for a year in university. More of the qualitative stuff, got to see the pretty lights, got to see what a black hole did, learned enough of the math to understand what things like the Schwarzschild radius was, event horizon. I used to be able to tell you what the magnitude of a sun meant, how old it could be, and even what spectrum it was on. Give me a couple of weeks, I could probably tell you that all over again from the heart. Past that, I didn't go any further into it because it got into a lot of high-end math that I didn't think I was ready for. Probably a dumb decision of my day, but I was young and stupid.
It's never too late.
You're right. It's never too late. But my point is, I love talking about it. I love to watch the shows. I love to see, and I love to hear the new theories and everything. But would I, as a layperson who has only a passing interest, would I be able to talk shop with, a guy like Tyson or a guy like these people that work in the big observatories? Probably not.
Do you have to?
Well, the thing is, some people
interested in what they're doing. Like, for example, I have to underline, it's really just a communication error. There's just we need to make a bridge. Like, take, for example, like woodworking. I mean, it's a trade is almost as old as humanity.
Yeah.
They've got their own shop talk.
Oh, believe me, I know. I've heard most of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
someone
the
who's got
product
life-
of what they do and what they're doing, is that accessible to the general public? Of course it is. It's a false barrier.
Yeah.
And
I
a lot
think
of
that
people are
false-
making a lot of money from it.
Yeah, and as I've said, I think that false barrier is further proliferated by those people who want to capitalize, not necessarily profit, but capitalize on that collective ignorance or that stigma of intimidation from
And
these
Tech was
more.
right about religion doing that.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
I did. I was beating around the bush a little bit about that, but yeah, let's face it. Ken Ham, science bad, religion good, science big ugly thing that wants to burn your babies or eat your babies.
Yeah. No, that's us.
Well,
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I am too.
By the way,
Thanks.
I burned my dinner tonight.
for anybody that wants to get an idea as to how easy and accessible it can be to speak to someone who is a scientist, a professional scientist, who's a professional chemist, who has patents to his name and research to his name, check out episode 102, titled Inconceivable. We had Dr. Samuel Conway on with us.
Yes.
And we were talking about the woo peddlers. And I think that we had, well, first off, one of our more fun episodes, but we had a real eye-opening experience at that point for dealing with somebody who is not just really smart about what he knows in chemistry, which is a pretty big deal, but is a wonderful communicator, very personable person, is amazing no matter how drunk he might be. No, actually, he gets much more interesting when he gets more drunk. But he's a wonderful person that several of us have had the opportunity of meeting personally. Cannot speak highly enough of him. Again, episode 102. I got the link. I'll make sure that that's in the show notes anyway, which is all kinds of meta right now. That's just great. Mm-hmm. We need to see about rolling out of here pretty soon. Even though, I mean, I don't know about the rest of you guys, I'm feeling like really good about, I'm not slowing down right now. I'm feeling really good, but we do need to see about rolling for sleep sometime in the near future. There are two things that I wanted to do really quickly. Item number one, just because I'm really feeling fun about it. Did anybody else see the Screw Attacks death battle recently? Ending their season with Deadpool and Pinkie Pie.
No.
If you want a good laugh, it's probably a good one anyway over there. And Heretic Woman.
Yes.
Speaking about talking shop, we have someone who is new to the area that has gotten a bit of a smile on their face recently, courtesy of you, me, and probably all of us in the very near future. Yes, I don't know how much we can really discuss, but we can at least say that we've done a good so far this week.
I do believe so, and I know she was watching earlier. I'm not sure if she's stayed awake quite this late, but if she is, hello. And I plan on, because I know Beth was coming to see her father next month sometime, so I'm planning a little road trip over that way, and we will see her. She's actually thinking of coming to ReasonCon if she can manage it too. I know it's over your head, Joseph. I'll tell you off air.
For the public, the short version is Heretic Woman was contacted by somebody who is atheist,
Yes.
is a bit
Very much
outspoken,
so. Yes.
and is
came from a dangerous situation.
Yeah, and was looking for community, and I don't know the wherewithal as to the particulars of how it got in touch with you. Doesn't matter. But what is important is that through whichever channels, there is someone new to the family, as it were.
Yeah.
And I will go ahead and say on behalf of the crew, what the hell are you doing staying up this late? Go to sleep. God.
Do we have to read the book about it after sleep?
Yeah, no kidding. But hey, did you guys see? I got on TV over Christmas.
I heard about
I
it.
heard about this. Yeah.
You got tuberculosis.
No, I said I was on TV.
Oh, on TV. I thought you said you got TB.
No, TV with a Victor.
Yeah,
Don't
like
say
the
it.
cat.
Right,
Something
right.
like that, yes.
You have to warm up there.
Did you want to see it?
Well, we can certainly link it.
Definitely.
I can show like I'm the first like 30 seconds, if that. The reporter was here for like an hour and we talked about all kinds of stuff, but
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
as is the way of, TV and news, 99% of what was said got cut out.
Yeah. But even without that, it could be a piece on the world's greenest cookies.
They only kept the part about drinking the blood of Christian babies with your bagel, right?
Yeah, that's right. You didn't see they're supposed to be little Christmas trees, but you didn't see. I had up in my cupboard a thing of candy skulls that you would like put on a cake or whatever. So I went and I put I had black ones and white ones, but I put like a little white candy skull on top of every tree after, but that was after she left.
And the green was made, it was that color because it's complementary to the baby blood.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
Well, those are Vulcan babies.
I'm just gonna say that those are Spock's kids.
Yeah, well,
Equally tasty.
But
Only with mayonnaise.
it was pretty cool, I have to say. In fact, hang on a second. I'll show you the first part, because the whole thing was, what do non-Christians do at Christmas? So the first thing she looked for was an atheist. Then she talked to some Sikhs, and she talked about how Hanukkah happened to coincide with Christmas, and talked to Syrian refugees and that kind of stuff. But I am the beginning
Or
of
anybody who's not Christian. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
It's the same category.
I'm the beginning of the segment, and it's only the whole segment's only a minute long. So
Okay.
Are you
I'll
actually
mute.
showing it now?
Yep.
yes,
Okay. And
Okay.
for clarity, by the way, this is from CTV News, and we'll make sure that you've got the link for the show notes for everybody for later. And I'm going to mute myself out just to be on the safe side.
all right, here we go.
Deborah Welch has a lot of prep work to do before her annual get-together.
I've got Christmas Vacation ready to go if we feel like watching a movie. We're going to play Cards Against Humanity later and probably drink a bit.
Welch is an atheist who is, this year, hosting a meetup with others who don't celebrate Christmas.
What's important for me anyway is that I provide somewhere for some people that just have nowhere else to go, or sadly they're not actually welcome with their families.
And now we're on to the Sikh folks.
And one big fucking onion.
I know.
Good on you.
So that was my little spot there, and she just goes on to say what all the other people are doing and stuff. So,
Oh, goodness, they're like onions.
yeah.
They have layers.
But it was so funny because I did a meetup for the Christmas get together because it was mostly local folks that came, and I wanted them to be able to get the information easier. Most of them were on meetup with our local group anyway, so it just made sense. And I guess the reporter had Googled, atheists and Christmas and found my meetup. And that's how, and then she had to, because I don't have a landline. I haven't had a landline since 2003, but my husband does. So she Googled his name, which turned up to be the only one in Canada, apparently. And she phoned on the landline. She's like, "Hi, this is so-and-so from CTV." I'm like, "Hi." Okay. She's like, yeah, I want to interview you. Can I come over tomorrow? Blah, blah, blah. So, yep, that was the Christmas Eve day morning, whatever, was talking to the reporter for an hour or so.
But the underlying message of that, the reportage was non-Christians can breathe too.
Yeah, and that's why I was excited to do it, because I thought it was a really good opportunity for normalization. Be like, hey, I'm just, an average person, and I'm gonna have some more average people over, and we're gonna do average things like drink and play cards, And we ended up, instead of watching Christmas Vacation, we ended up watching Orgasmo. There were people there that had not seen. Now, my friend Phil, he's excused because he was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, and he's only been out for a year and a half. And so he's got a shit ton of movies to get caught up on. So
a bit of a backlog.
Yes, but there were some other people who I'm like, what? You haven't seen? Oh, sit down and watch this. So we ended up watching Orgasmo, and we played Cards Against Humanity, and we ended up throughout the day with about 8 or 9 people, and the last folks cleared out about 2:30 in the morning.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was a really good day. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
And we're probably going to do it next year.
Yeah, I was going to say, for those of you that are looking at the show notes and going, holy crap, there's a lot of links. Yeah, I'm just going to spam all the friggin' links this time, because we're getting a little bit long into that. Oh, thank you. You didn't need to do that. I was just leaving a message for myself in our chat so that I remember to do it. But thank you.
No worries. I had that one on bookmark.
Sure you did. Anyway.
By the way, to our new friend, if you aren't familiar with Orgasmo, PM me later. I'll hook you up.
Oh God, this is great. Now we're a porn peddling site. This is great. This is gonna.
Orgasmo's not porn. It's Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, I'm thinking of the.
It's a comedy.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of Flesh Gordon. I'm sorry. Never mind.
No. Orgasmo was like, I saw it in the theater.
It doesn't matter.
And it wasn't one of those theaters either.
It's from
Not
the
that kind
guy.
of show.
Look, it's from, I can explain it all immediately for you right now. It's from the guys who made South Park.
Yes.
Enough said.
Yes.
All right. So, maybe one of these days we'll talk about the erotic adventures of Alice in Wonderland. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. No, because it's a musical. It was a musical.
I've seen that. It's on Pornhub. Just so you know. I saw it when I was like 14.
I still think Dan as Chota Boy was funny as shit.
Oh, Chota Boy was awesome.
Yeah.
But that's an Orgasmo, not the erotic adventures of Alice in Wonderland. Just so we're.
Anybody want to say anything before we get out of
with
here?
the weather and
This is one of the things I'm hoping that 17 is going to be a little bit more fun for us. Not necessarily less cerebral, but a little bit more fun.
This had nothing to do with segues. Everything just ended up in the ditch tonight.
I don't care.
At the very least, the gutter.
In any case, seriously, any closing words from anybody on anything? I mean, I don't know. I'm still gonna hit that button mash thing really quickly though, before I get us out of here. But anybody any last something or other?
Remember to bend at the knees.
Oh God!
When you're picking up snow, okay, and don't just turn at the hips. Work the whole body. It becomes a full body workout at that point, folks.
It does.
Are we still talking about Orgasmo?
We could be, yes.
At that point, if it's not a full body workout at that point, you're doing something terribly wrong.
I think Joe's saying bye-bye, but I didn't hear him.
Get a
Can't hear
harder,
him.
a full body workout behind the glory halls.
He's on the mute.
Smart.
So,
He's doing the hidden mute.
I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I never ever make them because if it's worth doing, you should be able to do it whenever it's time to do it.
Yeah.
No.
That's
I'm more one. I'm not so much one about resolutions. I'm one for goals.
Hmm.
You know, okay, so well, that's just another name for resolution. Well, not necessarily. You know, I have several goals this year, but I do have one that I know is feasible, reachable. I just have to spend the time, and I'm going to have the time, I think, this year to do it, and that is to get published.
Woohoo!
I've recently, again, upgraded my sound studio over there. Let's see here, really quick. Avoid the motion sickness. You probably can't see it that well, but the wall of foam is gone.
Yeah.
And in its place is a new acoustic shield and a music stand, so that I'm not holding stuff up while I'm reading it and, you know, feeling the blood drain from my arms.
Was that a vibrator on the shelf we saw in the closet?
We'll look back at the video later. I have control over that.
Dalan just fix that in post.
That's a secret door to the private room in the back where
Oh, yes.
It's the quiet area.
Leather Slave is.
The gimp.
We'll dream for next.
It's where all the bad boys and girls go.
Yeah, that's where you keep your. That's where you keep your publisher.
Yeah, at any rate.
Dear publisher,
See,
how
folks,
many Robins
this
and Batgirls do you need?
You see, folks, this is why I never talk about anything about myself with these people. Is just.
What do you mean these people? I find that highly offensive.
Come on.
He's calling you people. You should be thankful for at least that much.
Don't make me throw my Pokeball bath salt ball at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I will jump through the screen and rip your face off because bath salts.
It's not that kind.
I was going to make some kind of reference to Chef, but okay, fine. Moving on.
Yeah, you don't suck on these.
Starting up the bath salts.
But they
Puts
are
me into
good.
space. Makes me kind of hungry for someone else's face.
YouTube, please don't sue us for that. Please don't.
Where did you
sue us
find
for
that one?
The thump.
What is wrong with you? Well, I stab people and I eat human hands, so that's two things.
And he says it so casually, you know. It's just like, this is an everyday question for me, you know.
Tech.
Line delivery.
Tech,
Did you
last night we were talking about a man who shat himself, formed it into a pick, waited for it to freeze, and then dug his way out so that he could just amputate his own left foot. I really don't think that congratulating him for being able to put such apple bloom into something as benign sounding as that is really something to aspire to for later.
I never said I aspire to be like that. I just, talking about how amazing it is.
Well, that, and I don't think it ever gets that cold in DC, so.
Did you finish your meat dragon? Maybe. It's terrifying.
It never gets that
Thank
cold in DC because the frickin' bureaucrats never shut up with all that higher
And if I've confused anyone, go look up llamas with hats.
Thank you.
Here's a llama, there's a llama everywhere. Llama, 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 llama.
Wrong llama.
Duck.
Different.
Wrong llama.
Really quickly, Brigid, since you've been so quiet, do you want to say any last thing? No? Good. We'll move on. Seriously, I'm hoping that you had yourself a good holiday and everything, and the animals have been nice to you with the holiday. And
Yeah, they got me a telescope.
Ooh, you got a telescope.
I did.
Tell us.
how big? Because bigger's better.
It's a rather personal question, Shujin.
Pretty darn big, but it was a Celestron 127 EQ.
Ooh, nice. You're gonna get some any plans on getting pictures through this thing?
Yeah. As soon as I
Good.
figure out how to put it together. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Very cool.
For those of you that don't know, she will have galore if it's anything like the one that I've got, and mine is a 90. Yeah, I still have to get it fixed, but I can get some freaking amazing shots of the moon, and I've gotten some really, really nice shots of Jupiter and Saturn years ago, unfortunately. Like I said, I got to get mine fixed, but we'll see about that. We got to go. But really quickly, the button mash thing, really fast. One of the people that I got into a fracas with went ahead and said, and used the argument, why should I have anything to say about an argument that means anything? Why should he listen to somebody who loves, apparently, My Little Pony? You know what I did? Again, I had another one of these, okay, motherfucker, game on. And I said, okay, My Little Pony, Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, science, entomology, geology, astrophysics, rocket science. And I named a whole bunch of things. Some of it was science fiction, some of it was cartoon, some of it was just heady stuff, some of it was just fluff. And I said, this doesn't even scratch the surface of who I am. And you're going to go ahead and say that I don't have something to say on a topic because of one piece that I happen to like that you don't? Really? Come at me with something with a little bit more meat next time.
Come at me, bro.
Effectively, yes.
You know,
Don't tase me, bro.
Well, I take it this was a theist, right?
You could be.
Could be.
Could be.
I would say is at least, you know, my liking My Little Pony, I have something somewhat tangible to like as opposed to your invisible sky daddy that no one knows exists. I can go to the store and buy a pony.
Matter of fact. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a pony on my shelf. Where be your invisible sky daddy?
I can hug my teddy bear, but you're just hugging air.
Exactly.
having a lot of these hold my beer moments.
Who's your daddy?
Exactly.
Who's your daddy?
Who's
Hold my
your-
beer, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Hold my bear.
No, hold my beer.
Hold on, Joey, what is that?
It's what I put my faith in.
A
Bullets.
bullet.
Ammunition.
Yep.
Earplug.
And by the way, Joe, those should not be earplugs.
No,
But,
I don't think that would work so good.
Yeah, Joey, remember I was telling you about the dog tags in general?
Dum-dums work better.
Oh,
There you go. There's the dog tag. Shut up. Anyway, we gotta see about getting at it. We gotta get out of here. Thank you, all of you who've been with us through almost 150 episodes. No, we're not going to do anything special for 150. We'll get to 208. We'll have another thing.
Yeah, 150. I'll put on a pair of pants.
No, you don't wear pants in a hangout, damn it. How many times do I have to tell
Wear
you?
kilt. We
Careful, I've got one of those.
So do I.
later.
That's what she said.
Thank you for being with us. Seriously, on all of our behalves. Thank you so much. I don't go looking for download numbers or anything like that. I don't care. We do this because we enjoy the hell out of it. And if you're having a good time of it too, just let us know sometime. Or at the very least, just keep not suing us. We appreciate that because we can't afford anything. We'll take you to lunch. How's that? If you don't like what we do, we'll take you to lunch.
I'll buy a drink.
So we'll do that.
That's my
Joseph,
Christmas gift.
thank you, of course, for making it. Have a great morning. And, of course, plug your spot or whatever it is. Or what is it that you're working on at this point for the apartment?
No, I won't show you. Shelving and more storage. I'm making a little podium.
Sex harness, stripper pole.
Optional stripper pole, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
there
he
you
wants
go.
to know about, that secret room in the closet. He wants some guidelines.
Yep.
Yeah, I could do that, but my neighbors wouldn't be so happy.
Dalan, before I get over to you, would you kindly put into the text over here that I need to put in the link for Japan World Cup video, because after the stripper pole comment, that needs to be in there. Tech, I'd like to say thank you tonight, so I'll say thank you this morning. And thanks for I assume that you had a really good holiday with the little guy.
Yeah, he and I had a great time. We really did. Let's see, he'll be 11 soon. Next month. Yeah. Not so little anymore.
And funny you should say it that way, because Joey, I was just going through my videos on my phone to delete some stuff, and there's one that I could not delete. It was of you and I's. It's wee, not so wee, and it's freaking huge.
Freaking huge.
You have yourself a good morning, man. Thank you.
Well, that's kind of what happens when you have, a rather clear boot mark on the back of your hand and about that much of your wrist cut away from cuffs.
Your hand definitely looks a lot better than it used to.
Still got no feeling in these two fingers.
Ooh.
Oh, that'd be your ulnar nerve. They can fix that.
It tingles when I move them, but I don't have.
I got something similar actually.
I actually burnt my ring finger. Ring finger, not the middle one.
Yeah.
I actually burnt it cooking the other day and didn't realize until that doesn't smell like chicken.
Okay. not quite that bad yet.
Well, in that case, Brigid, thank you very much this evening. And yeah, that does sound like something that could be fixed, maybe, hopefully, huh? I hope.
That's good ham.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
But thank you very much, of course, and you have yourself a great night, and plug away what?
My blog at brigidfitch2112.wordpress.com.
Of course. Thank you, hon.
And Reason Con 3 is coming up.
Yes, it is. Heretic Woman. Oh God, I can't believe that we're gonna do this. We were actually talking the possibility of like carpooling to go down and whatnot, and then it was like, that's probably not such a good idea.
Is that something like Deadpooling?
No.
Well,
That's probably what it would turn into.
Aside from the fact, though, I'll probably end up buying a VIP ticket, which means I'll have to be there on Friday. So, because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it VIP. That's just how I roll.
If only I could afford that. But it's
freaking die.
VIP
But anyway.
is IP, but verily.
Yeah.
So plug all the stuff that's been scrolling across your screen, you
Thank-
lucky dog, you.
Yeah, independent software, dude. Never trust Hangouts. Well, earlier, right before this, as we mentioned, I did an hour-long show with Dave Motherfucking Foda, and we were talking about a philosophical concept called the Ship of Theseus, which is kind of cool. I never studied any philosophy really at all, so he is
I'm sorry.
Yes?
I don't mean to interrupt, but that is the one where the ship sets out, and over the course of its journey, they slowly but surely replace every piece of wood on it, plank by plank. The question being, is it still the same ship?
That is correct. You got it. So we discussed that for an hour. Not just the ship, but other ways that can be applied. And it was really cool. So if you check out our channel and Beyond the Trailer Park, that's already there waiting for you. Or if you're on Spreaker, you can see that there as well. Well, you can hear it because there's no video on Spreaker, but you know. And of course, we will be having a show Monday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Don't know about what yet, because that's just how this year. Well, we already had one episode last week. Where we spoke with Alishba Zarmin, who is the wife of Ali Rizvi, and she is a phenomenal ex-Muslim lady who's as loud and obnoxious as me, probably more, because not only was she vocal about women's rights and how that applies to Islam and such, but she now is the mother of a 4-month-old daughter. So as Ali said, if you thought she was loud before, yes. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So that's last week. Check that out too. Don't know what we're gonna do this week yet, but we'll think of something. So Monday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, beyondthetrailerpark.com or YouTube, Beyond the Trailer Park, Facebook, we got all that stuff. Check it out.
Thanks, son. And Dalan. Thanks, man, for everything.
No
Many
problem.
times over, and you know it.
Well, if I'm plugging anything, of course, I'm going to be plugging the podcast site for this show, namely holycrapthevlogcast.com. Made a couple of changes there. I don't know if that has made it into previous shows, but now I've included a page where I have links to everybody's blog sites, whatever they're usually used to plugging here. I've also set up a resources page where tonight's the secular therapist that we were talking about before, that organization, I'll be sure to add that not only to the show notes on this show, but I'll be adding it as a permalink to the to our resources page. So anybody who goes to that site now, I'm collecting numbers, addresses, emails, websites of all the many different helplines and other references that we've been collecting over the course of this show. Just so we can maybe help set somebody on the path at some point. And then, of course, I got my own blog, inthewind.wild5.ca, where I talk about stuff that probably not going to talk about on here.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll wait till the live button goes off before I talk about that any further.
Fair enough. I'm still hoping that we'll get a couple of folks over on here. And to that end, I've already floated the idea of doing a 6 show sometime in the future when we can get Callie on, now that she's done with her surgery. And congratulations on that. And hope you're feeling better, hon. But we got a lot of stuff that we're going to want to do over the year. And we're going to have fun. And most of all, we're going to do the thing that we want to do the most. The thing that Cash challenged us to do.
Yes.
Let's make a difference. Let's make a difference in at least one person. If it's you, thank you for listening. And if it's not you, that's okay too. Because you will know who we are. You will help someone yourself. That's arguably some of the best praise that could be. So until the next time we get together, everybody, thank you very much for being with us. We'll be looking forward to seeing you. Website, holycrapthevlogcast.com, of course, as was mentioned. The voice line, if you'd like to get in touch with us for any reason, or maybe just a vent. Phone number is 859-4288-554. It feels weird not to do it. 859-HCTV-554.
Be nice to the operator.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's actually voicemail at the moment.
Yeah.
I've
But
not
still
had
dial
anybody-
carefully and good luck.
Yes. Thank you. Even if you don't contact us, we know that people are watching and we know that people are listening. So thank you. I'm going to see about getting used to, checking which countries are checking in every once in a while and see about thanking you guys again. But in the meantime, Happy New Year. And of course, we've still got a little bit more time to go before we have to start worrying about anything. Maybe.
12 days.
I know. I know. I know. As always, I wish you the peace I no longer have. I wish you the strength that I've learned. I wish you well. And as always, my lady, it's almost 12 years. Still in love. Matane Fujin. I love you and I miss you. Dream of me. Till the next time we get together, everyone, as always, good night.